Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whatever time you're listening, welcome to another episode of Podcast Pundits. I am your host, Del Estrada. The transfer window is still open, but I'm still a free agent. So, 3 weeks before the season officially starts, 2 weeks until United actually play the first game. So up until now, we're just going to discuss the transfers and pre-season games. But before we get into that, let me introduce the rest of the cast, starting with people saying something from the left. Dre, man.
Yeah, Dre, man. Just keeping an eye on the transfers. It slowed down a bit for us. I'm not used to it, man. I was like getting used to like a transfer every 5 days, but it is what it is, man. So just like seeing how we progress with all these new coaches, see how we do. But yeah, it's just at the moment, like I said, pinch our salt with the friendlies. But yeah, man, we'll see how it goes in the new season. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. Next
I'm
up,
a United fan, just to let everyone know if they don't know.
Next up, another United fan, Marley Marl.
Yeah, Marley Marl here. Happy to be here again for this week. How you doing, Della?
I'm good, man. I'm good. It's been a long weekend, but yeah.
Why are you talking like that, bro?
Me? Or
Yeah.
what? Can't I host how he's doing? What's going on?
No, you just, I don't know, your tone and your cadence was.
No, I'm hearing it.
Okay.
I'm hearing it. Pick up yourself, innit? What on? How are you? In Strives. How about Strives? How about you?
Yeah, man. I'm good, bro, man. It's been a decent weekend, man. It's been a real eventful one for me still. And yeah, man. Yeah, as you know, I like the preseason games as well. I think Della said we were going to talk about some of them, so I'm kind of looking forward to that. I get stuck in.
I told you it started already. Look at it.
No, it hasn't. But yeah, man, I go by the name Strives or Striver. You know, I'm an Arsenal fan. Yeah, man. So
yeah, cool. Finally, Joey.
Yeah, it's your boy Joey Nomadic, Liverpool supporter, and here to talk all things football.
Cool. Before we start talking all things football, let me do some housekeeping. You can find us on all major platforms, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and you can interact with us on X and TikTok. Instagram is on its way. So right, let's get into it, because Strive is itching for it.
Dying for it.
It is proper, bro.
What's everyone talking about, man?
Size is gagging for it.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, but okay, cool. As I mentioned at the start of the podcast, we're going to be talking pre-season games and transfers. So let's talk about the Arsenal 2 United 1 pre-season game in the US. Let me kick off, because I know Strives is itching. I'm not saying a thing, and his mouth is ready to go.
Oh, there's something in my teeth, man.
Eating granite from a bottle, yeah.
I didn't realize that happened. Swear down, what? We beat Manchester United, yeah?
Yeah, you did. So let's get into it. So let's say, to the United fans, what do you take away from the result, the performance, or anything of that sort?
From me personally, what I took away from it is that the youngsters that have been spoken about recently by United fans is like having like a bright future. Most of the ones are so the Amas is the Collier, is that his name, the midfielder?
Yeah. Collier.
Toby Collier.
Yeah, and probably Ahmed as well. Like the ones we've been told to look out for this season. I mean, they look like they're at a decent level to be able to potentially come in at some point during the season and contribute something of somewhat value. That's probably the most I took out of it. Hoyland looked a little bit sharp.
On those 2 players you mentioned, sorry.
Yeah.
So Amas is your left back, right?
Left back, yeah.
Yeah, he looked decent. But the midfielder, he hasn't. I don't think he's got a chance at your club unless you guys don't want to be going or competing for anything. He's just there's nothing special about him.
No, he's rated pretty highly, to be fair. He's obviously young. What will probably happen? He might go on loan. I wouldn't be surprised.
And never come back.
If he went, no. Because look at McTominay. McTominay's managed to carve out a career for himself at Man United. And when he was at Collier's level and his age, McTominay weren't that good.
I think Man United have probably learned from that McTominay mistake.
Maybe. Maybe, because not really, actually, because we're still utilising McTominay. And McTominay's got somewhat of a value currently. I think we can probably get like 35 million for a McTominay these days. I can't remember how much. Dre, remember how much West Ham bid last season and got accepted? I'm sure it was around the 30s.
Yeah, I think it was about 30s or something.
Yeah, so McTominay's got a bit of value. And
I'm hearing it. I'm hearing Fulham don't even want to pay up to like 17 mil for him or something. I'm not sure about that value. That's what I'm hearing anyway on the streets of Twitter.
What transfer market? Oh, come on.
No, that's what I'm just hearing. I'm hearing like obviously ESR, he hasn't scored a competitive goal since April 2022, and Fulham are willing to throw the bag at him, but yeah, for Scott McTominay, they're not really looking to pay no Bs. That's what I'm hearing in it. But what about continue?
Bro,
Continue.
Bro, when isn't Ketia leaving your club, bro? He was on an armband, bro.
Bro, I was just.
Let's get some order. So back to that United player. So what's his position? As in, is he that Conyo? So is he a DM, CM, or?
He looks more like a DM, but he somewhat seems to be box to box as well. So similar to McTominay, where you don't really know what the fuck he does, but he's in midfield pretty consistently. The Collier guy looks like he's got a little bit more tech about him. What happens in preseason as well? Like in preseason, like a lot of these players, like McTominay, you realize like that what your frustrations throughout the previous season and why you get frustrated. McTominay, he's not techie. Like he looks like he runs out of ideas pretty quickly when he's pressed on the ball. That happened a few times against Arsenal. So for me,
we've come to expect that though, man.
Yeah, no, that's
we kind of like we know what we get from him.
That's what I'm saying. But in the season, you like it's in the forefront of your mind that this guy needs to be sold. And then preseason comes and he manages to find himself in all the preseason games without mention of being sold. But McTominay should go, personally. And if you're releasing a guy like McTominay and a player like Collier is coming in to do what McTominay done, is as in being a bit part player, I think that somewhat works.
Yeah.
So there was a few positives to take from the game, just the youngsters, and then obviously like in the second half and late in the first half as well, like you've got more of the youth prospects in Man United that probably ain't gonna have a future at the club.
Yeah,
we do this every season, and I think this is why I mentioned you can't really like last pod, you can't really like hail up Arteta for playing youngsters in the preseason games, because that's what clubs do. We do like it's when they're in the season. If you see them in the season, that's when you start hailing up their managers for busting guys' balls.
Yeah, we won't say like Andre.
No, I was just gonna say, obviously, by the youth, I thought Mount didn't actually have a bad game as well. Actually, thought it was kind of productive. Thought he did all right.
So where was he playing? And how would when Bruno comes in, how does that impact Mount?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, he looks like he was doing what Bruno does, right?
Exactly. So I was gonna say, obviously, like we know that obviously, if he's playing well in that position, how does he fit into this ETH team when Bruno comes back? Because I think that is the problem that we have. Because when they seem to start together, or even when Bruno, was injured, I think it was against Palace, I kind of thought, is he going to grab this with two hands? And it was just awful. So, yeah, I think this is going to be a telling season for Mount, to be honest. Like, hopefully he gets his chance. But, yeah, he's got a lot to prove.
For United, when do the likes of Xerxes, Martinez and Bruno, speaking of that guy, when do they come back to training?
Xerxes at Carrington. I saw him. He arrived at Carrington today, but he's been on holidays, right? So
yeah, I think they all are really.
Yeah, I don't think they're not going to join the US tour as far as I know. I think Bruno and Delo will probably just go straight to Carrington and start training and get prepared for.
Mano's still on holiday as well.
Yeah, he's in LA innit, doing
LA, yeah. LA and Vegas.
Beach.
Yeah,
he's doing like street balling in Venice Beach, bro, with Flex and KG. Big up yourselves.
Okay. Cool.
So there you go.
Now, what were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say you need to come closer to the mic. You saying?
Oh, to Strives.
Oh yeah, how you doing, bro?
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you.
One moment, man.
Pardon?
No, just one moment, bro. I just need to get ready for this one.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Yeah, continue, bro. Yeah, what's happening, bro?
Well, fucking pre-season.
Exactly, bro.
To the listeners, so Strives is wearing an All Saints black t-shirt, and he just put on a pair of sunglasses.
Summertime, baby.
To discuss the victory of Arsenal over Man United. So let's talk about it, Shaz.
Any guard of honor, so now? We dropped that rule? No guard of honor?
Yo,
Bro, we have to
make
give each
the
other
rules.
one, innit? Because there's pens and there's the full-time game, innit?
Wow, that's what you're doing.
Yeah, this
No,
is
I'm
what
just
this is what
saying,
you're
innit?
doing.
Yeah,
No,
so you're
You
doing.
created this environment, bro.
That's what you're doing. Yeah, sorry, because I saw Marley Mar like using tissues to wipe his eyes. So I think I've got the same kind of thing. It's kind of bright, you know, like the bright lights are winning and stuff. So I just needed to yeah. But now I'll get them off in a moment, man. But hit me
Cool.
with some questions, Della, bro.
Yeah, so stand-up performance for you in that game.
Yeah, so stand-up performance for me in that game. Funny enough, I'm going to give it to our Young Bucks, you know, our Young Bucks, man. I think I liked what's his name? Ulad. No, not just Waneri. Ulad Emhat.
Oh, Salah.
Yeah. Salah done. I think he's like his press is just like kind of really underrated. Like he's been really good in the games that I've seen him in preseason. And yeah, bruv, Waneri, ESR, I'm like obviously I mentioned ESR, like a deal being accepted to Fulham. Like I'm actually gutted about that. ESR was one of my guys to watch. I was really like singing. I was chanting his name, singing from the top of the hills about ESR alongside with Bukayo Saka once upon a time. So to see him going, it actually cuts deep for me, innit? But I say all that to say, I don't know if I'm going to miss him that much with a man like Ethan Waneri coming through the ranks, bro. Like, and I don't want to. I know it is just pre-season, like you man keep saying, but from when we started this podcast, everyone who's been listening from the start has known that I'm somebody that I've been enjoying pre-season since Arsenal's, because we've got to remember Arsenal's coming in through rebuilding our team at the moment. So as we're rebuilding our team, I'm always curious to see how we're looking to approach the season. So yeah, man, I live for these pre-season games, man, just to see what's popping. And yeah, man, our youngers are nice, and I feel like it was a good time. Like it was a good time for it to happen, considering the conversation we had. Then
I'll let you continue, Shaz. But
what the shades?
No, you can find the shades. I'm just letting you know.
Okay.
It's kind of difficult to take you seriously right now because I'm just looking at those shades. But you can continue.
Okay. I don't know. I'll take the shades off.
No, do what you're doing.
No, I would have a serious conversation. I'll put them back on. I'll put them back on when I'm addressing. It's only really Rayman is a prick some more time, but it's really only really for Marley Mark. You know, I despise that guy, and I wasn't even in one of the group chats that much over the weekend, but I opened up Footy Banter and I saw he sent a shot my way. I was like, wow, I was actually going to be okay with this game.
What'd I say, bro?
Okay.
What'd I say, bro? Don't do that.
He said something about, oh, I can see you're going to be a prick about this and celebrate this the same way you celebrated your pre-season charity shield or whatever it was you saw. I literally only saw that today.
Where was the lie? Where was the lie, bro?
I wasn't going to be a prick about this, and I don't think I'm being a prick about it. But
bruv, you was a prick on the day, bro. You told me to shut up when I said freaking Gab Martinelli was cooking.
I apologize.
That one hurt, bro. You know I was fighting sleep, bro, at that time to watch the game, bro, man. Dropping comments, trying to be neutral, and I just said, shut up. I'm like,
I was out.
That's how it feels.
The liquor was intoxicating, and we went 1-0 down, and I was thinking, oh my God, what's going on here? And then, obviously, once we took back control of the game, I was back on my high horse. So I do apologize for that.
What, was that offside or?
Yeah, we'll get to that.
We'll
but
get
first,
to that, but
first off,
tell me about your performance.
Yeah. I think the young boy has done well. Who else was I really liking? I'm just gonna go through them. Gabriel Jesus, I thought he performed pretty well, but I still think he's got that thing within him where he seems to need a few chances in front of goal, or he seems to maybe take that touch too much. But in terms of his build up, how silky he's looking, he's kind of showing that sharpness he showed in the preseason where he scored 9 out of 9 goals or something like that when he was getting ready for the World Cup. So he's kind of looking sharp like that. Obviously, Gabriel Jesus in preseason and in the league is two different things, but it was nice to see because obviously he's turned down the chance to go to Copa America. He stayed back to work on his form, and it's good to kind of see that come into fruition. Jurriën Timber, he was.
Did you hear what he said after the United game?
No, what did he say?
About his injuries. So he basically said, he said, my last pre-season was not good because I was feeling my knee. I had to have a surgery and miss all of the pre-season. So I was trying to force it during that preseason, but at the end I couldn't, and I had surgery. That was a little bit difficult after the comeback, but this season is different. I could enjoy my holidays. I then trained a lot, and I focused to come back well and do a good preseason. Now I'm in a different shape and play football again. So I'm honest admitting that last season was his knee injury was the factor.
And it's
Do you believe that?
It's believable. Yeah, it's believable. I gave Jesus a hard time at times, but I mean, yeah, like the guy is obviously, he was rushing to be fit and be well for the World Cup. Then he's rushing to be fit and be well for Arsenal's campaigns.
Sorry. There's just been an update. Somebody posted something in the group, an article that Gabriel Jesus was dropped from the Brazil squad along with Casemiro and Richarlison.
Oh, swear. Say that.
Interesting.
So maybe Gabriel's lying. That's why Stella probably asked, do you believe him?
No, I didn't say anything about Gabriel Jesus choosing not to go to the Copa America. I just read what he said in his post match.
So he's a liar. Sorry. I had to stop the printing press.
I just felt like the shades are coming back. I realised we're all being printed today. So yeah, no. So during Timber as well, I felt like during Timber I almost haven't realised that Saliba's not with us yet. You know what I mean? Like, as in, he obviously didn't play in Saliba's place. He played in Gabriel's place, and then we had our young boy.
What was that for? Is it just to put Zinni? Because he played Zinni,
Arteta,
right?
Yeah, no, Arteta basically, because obviously Ben White used to play centre back before we started playing him right back, and I think he was asked a question by someone from AFTV's channel. I think one guy, James, they got invited to the press room, and he must have asked like, what was the thinking behind it, and Arteta simply replied, "It's easier to make one change than two changes." Because obviously Ben White's our right back at the moment. Saliba's and Gabriel, they're not playing, so it's easy. Just basically shift Timber into centre back. So it's just essentially it's kind of one change. And Timber
and he can play there as well.
Yeah, exactly. He played. I think he was playing the majority of his final season at Ajax. So that's his position, isn't it? Really. He's just one of them players that can play all the way across the line. But bro, he just didn't look out of place. Why should he? He's looking like a brand new signing all over again, because we obviously, we never got to experience him. I'm sorry, I'll take these. The shades are even distracting me, man. Yeah, we didn't get to experience him last year. So man.
I'm just saying, you think like when the season starts, he's just gonna, like almost, where's he gonna fit in? Is he gonna go left back? Obviously, because he's not gonna play in those.
Well, this is one of the good problems that we have. Like, I think, like now we I don't know if you guys have seen it, but we've confirmed the signing of Calafiori. Obviously, I know he's fully remember his name now. He's one of us, you know what I mean? So yeah, we've got big Ricardo. Now we've got him in. We're kind of inundated with options now. Do you get what I mean? We're inundated with options and quality options. We had one of the best defensive back lines in the Prem, and we just got stronger. Like, so that must be sending shivers down all of our competitors. Obviously, that's only going to affect Joey Nomadic, because you man ain't really competing up there.
Yeah, sorry, quick one. Obviously, you had a great defense last season, and it was the best defense in the league. Do you think there's a potential that you can unbalance it or cause imbalance by adding some guys? And
no, because I think the players at the top, I think there's something that, like when if you get a new signing or a new player come to play for your team, I feel like it invigorates the whole squad, invigorates the whole team, because it's like there's a new face in there. You're not only are you kind of showing him in or inducting him in, but you're also kind of maybe picking up stuff from the new blood, the new talent that's coming in. Everyone's keeping each other sharp. No one wants to lose their place. Everyone wants to show what they've got. So I feel like there's something that I feel like there is credence behind the uplift in morale that comes with a signing, and especially an international, someone that is highly credited as being next up. I'm being seeing him touted as the next Maldini. You know what I mean? I can't see how that unsettles us. And ultimately...
So can I add something as well, Stripe? And it also doesn't unbalance it, because that's probably one position
that you needed.
Mars may disagree. That's one position in the defensive line that Arsenal could improve on. And he's a hybrid between Kiriov, who just plays like a centre-back playing at left-back, and Zinchenko, who can go up and play inverted. So you have that hybrid who can then slot into the Arsenal defence.
Like, what's the Man City's left centre-back that plays?
Oh, Guardiola. Yeah, essentially like that.
Well, why would I disagree, sir?
Because you say someone Is that a serious question?
A particular
but-
Brazilian.
You say, yeah, a particular Brazilian is needs to be upgraded. But
I mean, well, Calafiori, California, bruv, California roll, bruv. He's, bruv. He
Yeah,
might
so now
be,
you don't know his name.
bruv. He could replace
mate,
Yeah, so
he's
funny
coming
enough,
in, he's coming in as an option, but he's going to be as a left back. But to Strive's point, he can play similar to a Timber. He can play in another position, so he can give Gabriel a break.
But there's
And
One more question to Strives as well. Obviously, I think last time you asked me if Onslaught should come in and kind of compete at a similar level. I think, do you think that you guys should be having a better goal record or at least the same this season then, or does it not matter really and truly as long as you're like advancing as a team in general?
I don't want to be. Ooh, that's a good question. I think it's a good question because I think our goal record's been pretty good. I don't think anyone scored more goals than us outside of Manchester City, and we were leading that metric for the majority of the season, and we had conceded the lead. So, in terms of all the different metrics in the Premier League, like obviously Man City was the best team in the league because they won the league, but we were very, very, very close second in terms of the way we were playing. So I don't know what's happened to my color grading on the screen, but anyway, you know.
The light should not reflect.
We digress. But yeah, man, I think that I've always said it to you boys. I think a striker is the difference between maybe us competing and potentially winning the league or us blitzing the league. Like I really think that we've closed that gap to City that much that striker is the difference. But I've always felt that. Like and maybe a couple of other fans and other rival fans may agree with me or disagree with me. But I've always felt that. So that's why it's a good question, because actually our goal record is good. Our defensive record is good. So if we keep that up, like to answer your question, Joe Nomadic, if we keep that up, that's good, because it just means that we're still in line, and it means that we're still going to be in contention for the Premier League title. But obviously for me, I think you need to be extraordinary to topple a Man City. So I think we need more goals, and I think we get that by getting a striker with a better chance to goals conversion rate. So yeah.
I was just going to say, Strauss, just quickly. So obviously with California now, and obviously you've got Timber that's come back.
Yeah.
So if you were to get, let's say, a couple of injuries, is that something that you can't really, obviously we will see how they perform, but is that something you can't really like home in on now? Do you know what I mean? You're kind of bringing in those two players that can probably slot into those positions. And
it's perfect. It's perfect for us. I'll tell you why it's perfect for us, because one of my big criticisms of Arsenal under Arteta is our cup exits. Yeah, and it's the drop off in quality. You get what I mean? So sometimes like you can't rotate your squad and still keep competing at a high level. This just makes it our level is just even higher now, because Zinchenko can play left back, Kirio can play left back, Calafiori can play left back, Timber can play left back, and also on the right, Timber can play on the right. Ben White can play on the right. You get what I mean? Tomiyasu can play on the right. You get what I mean? Like we're just inundated now with just different options, whereby no matter what variation of the back line we see, we'd expect to be quite defensively tight. So I can't see that being anything but a positive thing, especially for our cup runs. You get what I mean? Because I think we need to be in with competing for all 4 trophies now. Like Arteta, in my opinion, I don't think for the team he's building can afford not to.
No excuses.
I think, I mean, some people might disagree with you, but in my opinion, I don't disagree with you. I think the excuses are like drastically reduced. Like we do need.
So excuses for what?
No, because
Not
obviously
picking up silverware.
not just that. I think like obviously we said when they had a couple of defensive injuries, they said that was obviously the major difference. Like obviously where they probably like got pipped and stuff like that. So having.
I think that was said the season before, but not last season, though.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying it just in general that they got the players to plug the holes now. So there's no real like, oh yeah, but
we're not finished. We're not finished in the market.
No, exactly. No, I'm not saying you're finished, but I'm saying you've got, like you said, you've got like the right kind of caliber players that can fit into those holes if you lose like 1 or 2 players. Do you know what I mean? And it shouldn't be like a major drop off.
Yeah, and you know what as well? Like, fun you should say that as well. I'm sticking in the game that we've just sort of had with your team. What it was encouraging as well, as much as obviously I'm trying to think, have I missed out any other standout performance? Obviously, Martinelli came on, he caught, obviously that's what Marley Marl said in the group when I told him to shut up. Again, I apologize for that. Martinelli was looking solid, but I mean, it's probably, to add context to it, he was up against like an under 18 guy. I'm guessing it's from your academy player, but yeah, he gave him that education, bro.
And it will never make it. It's like Hoyland's goal. Hoyland's goal was good, but let's be honest, he was up against a brother from Heaven and a keeper that's 18 years old as well. You can't really like. I mean, it was a good goal, like fantastic. He scored, but when it really mattered in the Euros, you didn't bang.
Yeah. Good, but you know what? Funny you say that though. Well, you're right. Heaven. He got strengthed off. That's never happening to our normal backline, and obviously it goes through the keeper's legs. But what I quite liked was they didn't lose their minds, they didn't lose their heads. Like they kind of was able to regain their composure and still play the game. We'll still play that from the back, and that's what I was gonna say to piggyback off of what Drayman just said. Like I'm seeing, like in my opinion, and I don't mean to trigger you, man, but it might trigger you, man. In my opinion, I felt like there was more first teamers playing from United against less of our first teamers when we started off. I felt like we played more of our younger players, in my opinion, and I didn't see the gap. I didn't see the gap.
You want me to read the squad?
Yeah, go for it.
So Trossard, Gabby, Jesus, Nelson, Odegaard, Jorginho, Navarrete. How do you say his name?
Nwaneri.
Zinchenko, Timber, and White. So I was like.
I'll say about four of them are in our first team. So I'm saying, like, in terms of like our first team players, obviously we had fringe players and then young players.
No, wait, sorry, wait. So who's a fringe squad player?
So hold on, if I'm that
White, Timber, that's 5.
Sorry, say this. Sorry, say that again.
So
Jesus, Trossard, Jorginho, Odegaard. Yeah, 6. That's more than half the team. I think it was balance.
No, first team players. I counted about 4.
First team.
5.
I was counting, but everybody just said he's a first team player, bro.
Don't say you're a first team, man.
Trossard, I would say, because I'm going off the last season, innit? I'm going off the last season. Jesus wasn't our first team after a while.
I think you might need to qualify what a first team player is. I think maybe that's what it is. Because I'm looking at the team and I'm like, in our starting lineup, Jesus, he's falling out of favour. He's a first team player.
He's falling.
Okay, but using that same example, if you go for United, there's not a lot then, right?
Yeah.
No, but I counted about 6 or 7 for United compared to our 4.
No way.
Hold on. It was the same. It was balanced.
Isn't a first team player a senior player, right?
Yeah.
All of them are senior players.
What were you saying? Stripes got sunstroke.
Bar heaven.
Fighting too hard, Stripes.
No. I had a feeling it would trigger, man. But I was just saying that what I was gonna say before you, man, came in to try and police my opinion. I basically felt that. What was I gonna say? It was quite pleasing to me because obviously a lot of our young guys and guys that I don't believe would be in our first team when obviously the season starts, whatnot, and you could still see like the massive gulf in quality between Arsenal and Man United. Like you could kind of tell which team was obviously the second best team in England compared to the team that finished 8th, and that was. And no, I'm saying, but I'm not even saying it to draw you man out. But in terms of the way that we were playing, it didn't matter whether it was Heaven there, whether it was Udine and Handon there, Maneri in there. It didn't really matter. Like you saw our style of play translate. Like we carried on playing the Arsenal way. Whereas I think what you guys had in the first 5 minutes, I think we were on top. Then you had a good half an hour. Those injuries obviously unsettled you a little bit. And then outside of that half an hour, the rest of the game, you was kind of chasing. We controlled it. You kind of revert. You kind of was just playing counter-attacking football, which is the football that you don't want.
When you say the other half, as in the second half, right, when we took all the players off and we brought on the likes of Anthony. Literally.
Yeah, but I'm being kind even when I'm giving you half an hour, to be honest. But let's say out of a 90-minute game.
United did all right in the first.
You were all right, but I think that we controlled the game.
And I dwell too much on a pre-season game, you know.
No, but remember what we look at. Remember what we look at for pre-season. We want to see
performances.
You want to see performances. You want to see style of play. You want to see how it's translating. You want to see who's going to be knocking on the door to break through to the team. You want to see who's looking like they're rearing to go from the other. Then you want to have a look at your new signings. And I feel like in that game, we had an opportunity to see both. So I'm only commenting on that. Like, that's why I say I don't mean to trigger, because I know it's a pre-season game, and I know that both teams didn't play their first team. But obviously, I'm excited to look at United, because United, and obviously in the last episode, you saw them, man, smiling like Cheshire Cats. They're talking about what Ineos has done for their boardroom, their management team, their coaching team, upgraded it. You heard them talking about their transfer seasons, how happy they were. So I wanted to see what was going to happen. Like, I wanted to see if the style of play translated.
Did you manage to watch a match, or you saw that?
Yeah. I watched. So basically, I was out. So I was out on Saturday, and then when it was on, I'm watching it from my phone, innit? So I'm watching the game. Admittedly, I never gave it full concentration, but I watched enough to form this opinion.
You was intoxicated.
By full time, when I'm sending abuse at Marley Marl, I could say I would, my language might have been a bit tempered had I had one or two pennies.
On the subject of new signings, let me ask you first, and I'll ask you the United fans the opposite question. You saw Euro, so what was your not analysis, but what was your thoughts on Euro?
He's a good player, man. He's a good player, but again, like I think you mentioned this Della last week. It's kind of unfair to throw him in at this level in the Premier League, because he might just end up getting cooked, which is going to be unfair, because obviously you've been a defender, Joey's been a defender, Marley Marl's been a defender. Like, it's so easy, to scapegoat defenders when things go wrong or little mistakes, like, because there's not much protection between them and the goal. Do you get what I'm saying? And early on in the game, I think he's misjudged on his time the ball, and it's fell to Jesus. If it wasn't Jesus, or if it was someone more clinical, that could be, a costly mistake.
It was a mistake, but give him credit for making a challenge as well.
Yeah. And I give him exactly. But that's what I led with saying. I think he was good. But his recovery was decent there. Do you get what I mean? His recovery was decent, but again, the intensity of the game, the pace of the game. Eric Ten Hag has come out famously and said he doesn't believe in friendly fixtures, and Man United didn't approach it like that. To give it to Man United, they made it competitive, whatnot. And obviously, we saw that. I don't know if he should have started, because apparently I'm hearing rumours that he picked up a niggle in the last game and he probably should have been rested. But obviously, Eric Ten Hag's played him anyway, and now it looks like he's injured, kind of thing. So I was just going to
they gave him, like, he had something. I think they didn't train him as hard, innit? I think he only trained like 50%, and then obviously he got thrown into that game. So
that is poor management, because it's pre-season. If someone's got any niggles or whatever, like, you don't play them. Like, what's the point?
I agree.
Yeah. But that's what I was going to say. Like, I'll give him credit. Like, I could see that, you guys are going to have a player on your hands. He's a young lad. But at the same time, I can also see that it's not nothing for me to be worried about. You know what I mean? He comes up against us, he gets picked apart. Personally, just in my opinion, humble opinion, obviously rating my squad on Arsenal. But yeah.
So to you guys, what was your thoughts on his performance before he went off?
Euro. I mean, it looked okay, but again, you can tell he's still young, and based on that, I'll probably my assessment of him being ready to probably start games in the Premier League, I think he might be off it a little bit. Just because I think he does have that, what's the word? The impetuance of youth. Like, he does seem like he you kind of want someone more calm and assured.
Yeah, but he does seem calm and assured though.
He does, but he's also like the lapse in concentration whereby he get Jesus in, like that. For me, that's a youth player. That's a player that is a little, probably a bit overconfident in his ability, and he loses his calmness a little bit, and he misplaces the ball, and then he's rushing to try and challenge the ball back, which he happened to do.
Penalty.
Yeah, exactly. Something I used to do back in the day.
I was just gonna say that, boy. You reminded me of Marley Marl at times.
Yeah, honestly, when you lose the ball, but you trust yourself in your ability to tackle, and sometimes you might get it wrong. Like that.
There's a couple of those in his compilation reel.
Exactly. So it can happen. So I mean, he done all right.
He's still gonna be, like, for me, still, I don't know. He still doesn't have that physicality that I think we need in the Prem as well.
You know what? I'm
18.
appreciating this growth in just 1 week, man. Arsenal man, Arsenal man,
changed a lot.
yeah, man. Arsenal man have showed you bad manners. I'm
What's that?
respect this growth.
No, I'm so confident. On Euro, bro.
Like with anyone, like anyone that saw him as well would know that he's just so.
No, but you man said he was starting. He was going to be a starting centre back. And now you man are telling me.
No, I'm saying
no. We also said we didn't see much of him, though, mind you.
Yeah,
as well.
and the thing is, it depends if we bring in another defender. Like, do you know what I mean? Because we are on the prowl for another couple of defenders. So
yeah.
We'll get lit. I think we'll get lit.
I think as well. Like, he'll be put on a training program, bro. He'll be given these protein shakes, and he'll have to get a little bit bigger and all of that.
Growth hormones.
Bro, he needs all of that for the Prem. And
I think United have got some stuff too. I think it was encouraging display. If I was a United fan and I'm looking at it and like forget the ego, forget the rivalry between Arsenal and United, because I do think there is now a bit of a golfing gap between Arsenal and United. I would look at that game and be
From that game.
No, not just that game from the last season, but yeah, that game did compound it a little bit for me.
No,
but
you're capping because
I think
that game wasn't Arsenal running away with it. Absolutely,
no,
not.
It wasn't Arsenal running away from it. But it was like
you scored an offside goal. You scored an offside goal, and you scored one good goal from Martinelli.
Right,
so 1-1.
All right, no, I mean, all right. That first goal, I would give it to you. I think there's a high probability that he was offside, but without the lines being drawn and without VAR there, we just never know, innit? You know what I'm saying? We just never know.
Let's not get hung up about the action.
No, I'm trying not to, but
no, but he thinks I'm trying to send shots, but I'm actually trying to give your team some credit. I thought Mason Mount. I think someone mentioned it. I think Draymond did. I think Mason Mount was better than decent. He looked yeah, and Mass, like you said, he looked like he could be someone that you blood into your team sooner than some of your players, some of the other ones that you might have mentioned. Did you mention Wheatley? You didn't mention Wheatley, did you? I think you said
no, that guy.
No, Wheatley's never gonna make it.
No, he's been good in the youth setup, but again, like similar to the Euro, I just don't think. I think like he needs a bit more time, and I think Wheatley probably does need he's probably further along. Euro is probably further along in development than Wheatley is. Like Wheatley needs a season on loan somewhere because he's definitely got the minerals based on his youth performances. Like he bangs a lot of goals. But more positively, like you got the Colliers. Like in terms of like why I think the performances there was some positives. Like Amas was good, Collier was good, Mount played well.
Ahmad was all right as well. He wasn't as popping as he was in the Scottish game.
We're sort of going back for a bit because you mentioned these players, but let's move forward. So in terms of that United team, 2 weeks Saturday is your Community Shield against City. So bear in mind you've got a lot of senior players that are not back yet. What do you think the expected squad will be? As in, how different do you think this squad that played against Arsenal in this preseason game will be compared to the Community Shield? Because
I think it'll be way different.
It's literally 2 weeks, but then all those players are not. How many games are going to play?
So I think Amas can probably chip in with a few performances this season, maybe one or two, depending on how Malacia kicks on. But so just your comment, like in the preseason, in the Charity Shield, I expect Shaw to come in, Delo to come in, Bruno Fernandes to come back in,
like I think a very much different team.
Yeah, I believe so. Because we started like Amas, Maguire, Collier. I don't think Mount will start.
So who do you think will be who do you think will be our back four?
Against City, I think Shaw, Lisandro Martinez, maybe Maguire.
So you don't think he'll play Euro?
No, I don't think he'll play
Euro. Because if he play Euro against Haaland, I think it's
could be a massacre.
I don't think he'll play. I think it'll be Maguire.
Yeah,
I'd love to see it though.
So would I. Just to see what he's
But it depends, like we said, it depends if we bring in another centre back as well.
But even if we get De Ligt, I don't think he'll start De Ligt against.
No, not at all.
Yeah, Rashford as well. Like, what do you man think of Rashford in that game? Because he
looks sharp, man.
That's what I thought as well.
He looks sharp. Like I mean,
I was gonna say I'm not trying to buy into him too much, man.
No, his boy's back, man. Jaden's back. He's happy.
You're not trying to buy into him, do you say?
Yeah.
What you think? What you think? You reckon you're going to sell him?
No, in terms of like, no, we won't sell him. But I'm
why
saying,
are you buying
like,
into him?
No, I'm saying I'm not sure.
The hype before the season, and then it's just
exactly
disappoint again.
Yeah.
No, man. I think you need to afford people like a clean slate. He didn't go to the Euros. He's been training. I think he looked sharp at times in the game. I think the balls, the passes he was making some nice ones as well. And obviously he set up Højlund for that goal.
Yeah, Rashford looked good. I think what's the problem with Rashford now, as well as like probably a lot of players, like
consistency.
No. It's I guess it's like the weight of expectation, like because he's started that 30 goals a season or whatever it was the season before. Like you should probably see that and think, oh, maybe he can do that all the time. But
30,
like, yeah, he scored like 30 plus goals, not in the league.
Kind of like how we were with Martinelli last season, kind of thing. We was expecting.
Yeah, like you expect too much from these guys. Like if you look at it, I guess his record across all the seasons, like he probably had like 10 to 15 goals a season, like similar assists. And if he comes in and chips in with that next season, bruv, I'll be happy, bruv, because you don't really get that much. You don't get that from all wide forwards. That's a pretty decent return.
Mm. One thing I will say on like one of our forwards, when Jesus, I think it was Jesus that came off for Nketiah, I didn't see enough from Nketiah, you know. I don't know what you're with you. Did you watch the game, Dilla? Did you? Oh, sorry, I could, yeah. Okay. Your mic is cutting in and out, so I don't know if anyone else heard you. I didn't hear you still.
I didn't hear what you said. Do you swear?
Yeah, if you're speaking, your mic's cutting in and out still, Della. But yeah, I'll just, but until we can get Della back on, I'm not sure about Nketiah, you know. Yeah, I think it might be time for him to move on. I think you're back now.
No, that's weird.
Yeah,
so what was your question about?
Yeah, I was going to ask, did you watch the game? Yeah. Did you manage to get? What did you think of Nketiah? Because I was just about to say I don't know if he's gonna. I don't think he's gonna make it.
I just had to look. He came on in the 71st minute, bro.
Jeez. Yeah, no, like, I won't.
But Martinelli came on then. Martinelli came on then, and we saw what Martinelli was on.
Yeah, but the reason why I wouldn't get hung up about it, because we know Nketiah's levels. We know that's why Martinelli is going to be at the club and Eddie Nketiah is going to be sold. Yeah. So that's not something we need to dwell on.
But but for me, I'm looking at it to see is there redemption, because I'm looking at Reece Nelson for instance.
There's no redemption. Reece Nelson looked good, but that was
exactly. Reece Nelson looked dope, but the only thing with Reece Nelson is his end product, which has always been an issue. But you're looking at him going, no, that's a player. Like even if he goes to a West Ham or Leicester or whoever he ends up,
he'll do well.
You know you're going to do well. In Nketiah, I believe he's going to do well, but you know what I'm saying? It's a believe. As in, I want to see it translate sometimes. And I don't know. That's why I've got pulled you in, because I'm thinking, am I maybe being too harsh? Because I've been being told that recently.
No, but even when he came on, sometimes it's a bit different from a striker. And obviously, if we're comparing Reece was on for the full game, so he had a lot more time to like get into the game. Maybe, you know, when you know your time's up, you're coming on with 20 minutes ago. So yeah, I don't think there's really much to say. We all know where Reece.
I think Stripes, when you say like you're on levels, like in terms of like the players you're bringing in and the performances and the levels that Arsenal are at, he just ain't that. He's just not one of those players, unfortunately.
Yeah, but it's a shame because you want him to be like. I
feel like he's been given the chances as well. He hasn't like probably started as many games as you want, but I feel like Arteta has tried to bring him in and to play him in a good few games. But
yeah, and you know what? Yeah, Nketiah, because I was arguing. I think was it last week? I feel like, or maybe it was in a group. I can't remember. But I was arguing this. I was thinking Nketiah. Maybe it was in the group. Yeah, it wasn't on the pod, actually. I was arguing that, it's time for Nketiah to move on, because I feel like he's had the chances. But not to obviously make this an Nketiah slating sesh. But one thing I wanted to say, Marley Marr said this. Marley Marr said this at the beginning, where he said he doesn't rate Arteta for bringing on young players in the preseason. I do think it's worth noting. I don't think Arteta's ever brought this many youth players on a US tour before, so I do think that there might be.
You need to caveat that, because
let me correct you.
You're wrong in your surmise.
Let me correct you. What I actually said is that he can't be given ratings for doing something that most clubs do in preseason, which is bring youngsters.
Yeah, but he doesn't do. He doesn't. Sorry,
even to that, obviously, the reason why he brought a lot more younger players
Euros.
to the because you've had the Euros, you've had the Copa America, so a lot of the senior squad are away. So that's probably why he utilised them.
True.
Fair enough, that could be true, but yeah, I thought it was encouraging. I think Arteta is one of the managers that he regards his stakeholders as well as his shareholders, and obviously us as fans, as his stakeholders, there's been a cry out for, like, we know we've got one of the youngest teams in the league, or at least the second youngest, or whatever it may be. But there's still like you could still do more to play your younger players or promote people from the academy. And to me, it looks like so far he's showing a direct response to that. Yes, we can caveat that with the circumstances surrounding it, but I'm just encouraged that that he's brought more. I'm encouraged that being able to see a lot of them play and go up against the likes of Titans such as Manchester United and do themselves a good service. And like, it'd be nice to see like if one or two of them can push on and get a few more competitive first team minutes.
Sorry, this youngest team in the league's Garby.
Second youngest team then.
As in, what do you mean? As in,
it's average age.
Average age of the starters of the first team, right?
No, the squad.
I don't know if it's a squad. I just know it's the
it's the registered squad,
okay.
Not including the academy players.
Arsenal.
Why is it garbage though?
No, I don't believe that.
Yeah,
it's true.
Young, Timber's young, Havertz is young, Nketiah is young.
But the reason why you may not see that, because obviously what Arteta does, he signs players that are young, but they've experienced quite a lot of things. So let's say with Havertz is still relatively young, but he's played a number of games for Chelsea. The same with Declan Rice. The same with Ben White. Timber's young. Ramsdale's young.
How old is Gabriel and Zinchenko?
They're young. I don't know about Zinchenko. I know Gabriel is like what? 26?
I think Gabriel's already 27 now.
No, Gabriel Jesus.
Maybe 27.
Okay, yeah.
And so those are the old. Obviously, you got Jorginho and
let's put a pin in that. I'm gonna research that.
Sorry. Speaking of research,
27.
Rashford hasn't got a plus 30 season, bro.
Across all competitions, he has.
Yeah, he hasn't, bro.
Yeah, probably has, but I think
22-23 was.
But the season, 22-23. What did he get in that one?
I think he got 29. He got 29.
No, it's 30 plus, bro. I'm sure he's even got like a 40.
What's going on here, bro? What's going on?
Legit across all competitions. I'll bring up.
Show me your waking up, buddy. But anyway, yes, right.
Cool.
Yeah, man. Arsenal better than Manchester United, man. Let's end it on that.
1-1.
If you want the bragging rights.
So Joey, let's come to Liverpool. So you ran out 1-0 against Real Betis. Did you manage to see the games, or do you only just caught highlights?
So you know I didn't watch it live because obviously it was a bit late for me. But I was trying to get the full match replay, couldn't find it. You know, you just Google fullmatchreplays.com and you try to like find a site. I ended up getting LFC TV Go, bro, to watch the full match, man, because been starved of football, man. But yeah, I wanted to see full 90 minutes. I wanted to see how they played. I wanted to see what's new, what you're doing, who's doing it. Like Strive said, innit? So yeah, it's quite interesting how we played in that game and
that game then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So in terms of obviously this is coming off of the back of I was more interested coming off the back of Curtis Jones's presser where Talksport, I think it was the name Ade.
Oh yeah, wave his name. Yeah.
Him and Gavi Agbonlahor were ripping Curtis Jones, saying like it's disrespectful. I think it's far from it. I think all he was saying, it did sound disrespectful, especially if you read the text. But all he was saying is that Klopp played a certain way that wasn't suited to my style, and I'm really happy that what Arne Slot is trying to do is more suited to my style, aka like he's not expecting me to press like a monster. He just wants us to hold ball and keep ball for longer and keep just basically starve the opponent of possession and literally drown them out of the game. And so I was looking forward to see how does that manifest on pitch. And the first thing I noticed is that the fullbacks weren't bombing forward. They weren't bombing forward. You know, like when Klopp's team play, you see Trent right on the corner flag. You see Robertson right on the corner flag. Now, I don't know if it was because he doesn't have the personnel that's maybe going to be playing on the competitive games, but it was Tsimikas and it was Connor Bradley, who playing right back, and they kind of like went up to the halfway line and they sat kind of in line with the two pivot players as well. So we're playing a 4-3-3, but he played two pivots and Harvey Elliott started up front, but what seemed to be like a false nine. And Soboslai was the other guy in the three, but he was also far ahead in the game. So it was like we were playing a 4-2-4. So like it was interesting seeing the shapes that they were playing as well. So yeah, we had the double pivot was Curtis Jones and Endo. The way they were playing as well was like, so Endo and Curtis Jones were picking up the ball, but they were just bouncing it to each other, and Curtis Jones was driving with the ball at feet as well, and just kind of like bouncing. And what Onslaught does, or what he was kind of famous for, is something called a wall pass, where basically if you can't get it to your pivot players, then you punch it into your forward players in their feet, and then they bounce it back to your pivot, and they start there. So let's say, for example, Kelleher or Addison's got the ball, and you want to start playing out from the back. You either go to your centre backs or you go straight to the pivot players. Now, if the pivot players are marked out of the game and you can't make that pass, then you go to your centre backs and you try to get it straight into the attacker's feet. And then the pivot players will move into space and then they bounce it. And then that's where you start from. Everything kind of starts again. So you could see that quite a few times. So it was good seeing those patterns, and it was good seeing how much you were holding the ball.
In terms of like the striker profile for that system, does that essentially mean someone like a Darwin Núñez wouldn't be?
Yeah, kind of, because it's a bit weird, because obviously like initially I heard some comments about how he aims to work really hard with Darwin Núñez and put him through the ringer, but I don't know what that work that he's planning on doing actually involves, whether it's trying to convert him into somebody he wants, or maybe having another tactic that involves somebody like Darwin Núñez, who kind of plays off the shoulder. But again, as I was saying, like Elliott was started off up front, but we're playing a 4-2-4, kind of like a flat four at the top, where Soboslai was the false nine on the right hand side and Elliott was a false nine on the left hand side, and they'll drop deep and kind of create triangles with Elliott and Curtis Jones and all that kind of stuff, man. But and another thing as well, who was
the forward four?
The forward four was Fabio Carvalho on the left. They were cutting on their right foot. Salah on the right, cutting on his left foot, and Elliott in front. And then Soboslai, technically on the formation list, it would be in the middle three, but it was like a forward four. So yeah, it was interesting seeing that. In terms of the execution, Endo was looking a bit leave it, like he couldn't bounce. He was struggling with that wall pass when it was coming into his feet, and all he had to do was bounce it a couple of yards. He tried to do a pass backwards, but the ball got stuck on his feet, and then he just put Sepp Vandenberg in a 1-on-1 where Betis should have really scored, to be fair, but they kind of flopped, man. But
I think I read something that Endo was, I don't know, somebody made inquiries on Endo and Onslaught shut it down.
I saw that today. I think somebody tried to get him for 14 million, but he said no. I think it was a French club, maybe. But yeah, he said no to that. But so he's definitely planning on working, and I think we're short DMs as well, man. In fact, we should be in the market for a DM. I think we'll probably try and get somebody maybe in the late hour of the window. But
being quiet from you, man.
Yeah, and I think rightfully so, man, because again, obviously a lot of players have been away for the Euro, so he hasn't actually seen everybody you've got. So he doesn't know if it's a thing of, well, okay, we don't have this, maybe I can fashion this guy to play in that position, because you have got capable players that can play in different positions. Or we haven't seen the style as fans, so I don't know. Like, obviously the fans might be screaming for transfers to come in, but who do you want to come in? Like, you don't even know what style we're playing for sure. So
yeah, I was asking you that last week as well, and you were struggling to answer.
If you hear anybody saying that, yeah, we need transfers, just ask them who.
But the thing is, though,
what you want them to do as well.
But you know what the positions you need. Like you just said, you might need a DM. I think last week you said maybe set a centre half because your centre half's an agent. So you might not know the players exactly that you need, but at least you might know what the position is that you need.
That being said, so who left last season? We lost Joel Matip. We've got obviously Jarrell Kwanzaa was another backup. We've got Konate. We've got Van Dijk, and we've got Sepp Vandenberg as well. I don't know what the plan, because I think somebody put a bid in for him as well, and then the bid got turned down for him. So yeah, I hear it. Like, we should be getting maybe those positions, and I think we'll probably do business at a latter stage. But in terms of everywhere else on the pitch, I don't even think everybody's like identified like a player to get as a CB or player to get as a DM, because I think people were saying Lenny Yoro, but do you want Lenny Yoro? Did you really want Lenny Yoro at that point for that fee? No shot.
What's your structure in terms of is it Michael Edwards that's there?
Yeah, Michael Edwards, and who's Oga at the top, and then Richard Hughes underneath him.
So is your manager, is he just a coach, or would he be getting involved in like the acquisition of players?
He's a coach mainly, but he's used to that system from Feyenoord as well, and I think they utilize that system a lot in mainland Europe as well. So, but he's part of the committee technically.
He doesn't spend a lot in. If you look at his record at Feyenoord as well, like I don't think he's a manager that splashes out on players too much. I think I even heard or read that he spent only like 8 million or something in his previous season. So he might even fit FSG's like model or their mantra, because FSG they're quite frugal businessmen, aren't they? Like they're good at kind of making their team more valuable without having to spend so much. So
positive net.
So maybe this guy fits their philosophy, and maybe he's because of the way he is, he's one of them players. And Klopp, let's have it right, I don't think Klopp left you in a bad position, in my opinion.
No.
Yeah, he probably should have seen out the job himself, but obviously if he's tired and he's stressed, he's tired and stressed in it. But he's I think he didn't leave you in a bad position. So I feel like my man's just here to just take control of the ship and continue what Klopp had already maybe started. And you did quite a bit of a rebuild last season, so
exactly.
It might just be like one or two players. So I make you right in not being too, as much as it's funny to laugh at and seeing a couple of Liverpool fans stressing, but I do make you right. I don't really think there's anything for you to be fully worried about as it stands.
Yeah, and back to Della's point on Michael Edwards, like I think Liverpool tried to get him back a while ago and he said no. And him coming back, I think he's kind of negotiated like a lot more power in it. And so in terms of him being like the next Ben King, I think that would be our main focus. In other stuff as well, like just shout out to Trey Neone. He played in the finals against Chelsea last season, but he came on and replaced Curtis Jones, who up until his injury, I think the first water break like 25 minutes or something, Curtis Jones was playing well, man. It was just very direct, man. And you can see like what he was talking about in terms of being happy. Like he was moving freely on the pitch and kind of like was able to drop deep and link. And I think something that Agbonlahor and the other guy on TalkSport were saying is that like, you can't be talking about like that because you didn't really deliver for Klopp. Like you had like two goals or whatever in X amount of years. It was like, bro, what, you lot are footballers. Like how are you going to measure a centre mid's output in his goals? Bro. Like it was very childish, man. But
it's weird. Like footballers kind of become pundits and forget what it was like when they were playing, innit?
Yeah.
Some of their takes are quite interesting. What was it? I saw a statement on Neone, Arne Slot saying that he needs to grow into his body or something like that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know why they always say that, bro, because like these guys are flipping 17 and 16-year-olds, right? Like, would you expect them to just stay the same size forever? Yeah. I think Klopp said something similar about Bajcetic, who also came on as well in second half, and he played well, man. Like it was like vintage performance, but I feel like for Bajcetic, everybody's forgotten that good breakout season he had, and he's had a season out with a serious injury. So for me, he's starting from point one again.
That's going to be like a timber for you, like a new signing.
Yeah, well, a new signing if he's still got what he had that season, but definitely starting again. So it's not like. He's lucky that there's a new manager as well, so it's a clean slate, man. I think a lot of these players are lucky that there's a new manager too, man. So yeah.
On the your formation 4-2-4.
Yeah. 4-3-3, but 4-2.
Yeah.
In certain positions. Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously, you said he's trying to do that, but he probably doesn't have the right personnel because you still have a few players missing. Based on what you saw and what he's trying to do, who would you say is the missing piece?
So
from your current squad, not signings, it's your squad.
What do you mean? So who do you think will be suitable for that formation based on your current personnel? Well, so again, not to kind of like rag on Endo, but at the start of last season, before he kind of like became acclimatized to the Premier League, he was a bit hot potato-y. When he had the ball, he would be looking to offload it quite quickly. And after he made that mistake, it was more of the same as well, where he was a bit scared to get the ball. So I'm not sure who he would play in that second pivot role, because it has to be somebody who's a tough tackler, breaks down play, and is comfortable on the ball as well. So I'm not too sure about that one. But in terms of the other roles, it'll probably be McAllister if we don't sign anyone. But I think Szoboszlai, I think where he played in that game is exactly where he wants to play Szoboszlai. I think he is kind of like just rebuilding Feyenoord, but with better level of players. But I think Szoboszlai will kind of be his like version of Calvin Stengs. I don't know if you guys know anything about Calvin Stengs in Feyenoord. He was a winger, and then he kind of got dropped into a number 10/number 9. And then he just like made loads of late runs into the box and played with Jimenez up top. But yeah, he was a winger and attacking midfielder.
The deep line playmaker at Feyenoord, wasn't that him?
Timber.
Was it Timber? I
Yes,
thought Timber was the one that was like sort of like the box to box, and then you had the deep line playmaker who was converted from the winger.
No, you're thinking of Stengs, but Stengs was in front of Timber and in front of the other guy as well. Yeah, but yeah, he converted him from wide to play in the middle as well, man. So it's just good to see a different style of play. Whether it's successful or not, obviously will remain to see, man. But I think Marley was asking Bud Liverpool Sport in our group how he feels about it, and then he gave like a kind of manufactured PR response, Sky Sports response. But I make him right, man. Like there's no point in being scared about it. Like obviously, like a change was going to happen at some point. This is the change, and I don't think it's going to take off straight away. There's going to be loads of teething problems, but I'm happy to see somebody new, somebody trying something different, man. You're on mute, I think.
Sorry, this might be a silly question, but like how patient are you willing to be with Slot?
Yeah,
and what do you expect?
I'm definitely different from other Liverpool fans. I said last week, Strives asked the question. I expect us to be getting top 4 this season.
Yeah,
because I think it's just again like last season. There's just way too much change. I don't expect us to hit the ground running. I really expect a new manager coming into the Premier League to hit the ground running and do well. But again, he's an unknown quantity. If he did do very, very well, I also wouldn't be surprised, because I've heard good things about him, man.
Yeah, no, I hear that.
So top 4 could be what, another top 3, or even if you finish with a position less, you'd be okay with that?
Yeah, I'll be okay with that, man, because then I think we'll be able to, as fans, we'll be able to see what he offers, if he offers anything at all. Like we might even be saying you got top 4, but nah, I don't think you're the right fit for this team. Like it's possible, innit, man? He might just scrape it in a manner that was similar to Oli or ETH. No offense.
You lot ain't always honest though. That's the thing, because you lot were leading the league, finished 3rd, and started saying you overachieved. So
how can we be lying though if we said that we're
saying you overachieved
at the start of the season?
That's insane.
Do you know his club hasn't won anything, bro?
No, never.
Who are you talking about? Me?
Not you, bro.
Not while
you're moving like this with Man City, bro. You didn't win.
You're making me might be Harry Kane, bro. Trying to do it might be Harry Kane, bro.
I know, calm down. I was just.
What are you saying? You're going to start calling him Harry Strives?
Oh, I was just contributing to the conversation.
No, real talk. I do think, obviously, when you have a bird in the hand, you have to you have to crush it or catch it or whatever. But yeah, I do think we did overachieve technically based on my initial predictions for Liverpool.
Yeah, I'm not sure I agree with that, but yeah.
Did you overachieve?
Did we overachieve? I mean, how could we
achieve anything? And he's
I feel like they didn't overachieve. Listen, I've been
they
waiting.
didn't achieve silverware, so I don't think that's class.
We did achieve silverware.
They
We
title
did
challenge, didn't it? Huh?
We did achieve silverware. So if we're gonna start throwing shade, like let's be factual.
On a technicality, yeah, sure.
Yeah, whatever, man.
What are you talking about? You talking about the Colin Shield plate? This
Whatever you call it, but we got silverware in it. But I'm not gonna I'll come out here and say that we
win a cup in it. Win a cup then. How about
yeah,
that?
but I'm not
Hey,
trying
something
to.
you can drink out of it.
I'm not saying that we overachieved.
Serve it
I'm not saying we overachieved. I'm saying we should have won a trophy, but like another trophy. That's what I'm saying. Whereas you man are bottling Premier League title challenges and it's kind of saying that you overachieved. It's scandalous work because you man were the favourites alongside C. So I'm just saying, like, based on that metric,
we were the
yeah, by everybody's measure,
we finished fifth, bro.
By everyone's measure, they were saying it was you and City.
I need to see evidence of that, bro, because
you
have a habit of lying.
I'm not. Do I?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I don't believe so, bro.
Yeah,
I don't believe that's the case whatsoever.
You said you're going to win the league, bro, and you didn't. That's a lie.
I thought we was going to win the league.
No,
but anyway, let's not get into.
Let's not get catty. The season,
exactly. All I was going to say,
it's still pre-season, guys.
Truth.
Yeah,
this is.
I was just going to say that at the end of the season, if you finished fourth, I'm just wondering if the assessment would be honest based on what, in my opinion, I don't think. Obviously, I know you're saying you overachieved because you felt that you were going to maybe get top four, but I don't feel that the majority did. So I'm just
but remember, I said that I don't think all Liverpool fans would agree with me on that. That's what I started it with. So yeah.
No Community Shield for Arsenal this year anyway, so it's cool.
That's cool, man. That's cool, bro.
Let's try and close it out now, guys. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Sometimes there's a little lag, but I don't know. That might be Zoom or your laptop or something. I don't know.
I think it's I might keep them dropping out, but you're good.
Yeah, let's just quickly touch on Chelsea. It's only very, very briefly, only because they played 2 pre-season games and they drew 2-2 with Wrexham, and then they lost 4-1 against Celtic. And the last goal that they scored was like a consolation penalty.
Wait, what?
Yeah, a consolation penalty.
It's mad.
Did they do a penalty shootout after as well?
No. It was just,
that's just in America they do that.
I think it's in America, but I don't know if Celtic are in America because Celtic also beat Man City in the pre-season as well.
Yes, Celtic could play well, but they've had more games though. They're more fresh than most of the teams there.
Are they doing Champions League qualifiers or something as well?
I don't know, but I know they started their pre-season early. Like so when they played Man City, I think they already had maybe they had 2 games played.
Okay.
But that's no excuse.
No,
it's not. And considering, I think the Chelsea team was pretty strong. You had Sterling, Nkunku, Reece James. For some reason, playing in the midfield.
Team.
It was a very strong team. So where I was going with this is that obviously we know some people don't really count pre-season or whatever, but just factoring the fact that he's still trying to get to grips with his team, the new manager. Obviously, the whole Enzo thing is about to. They saying it's being sorted out, but obviously he still needs to arrive at the club, and obviously they need to sort that out. Like based on all of that, where do we think? Because obviously, Joe, you said you expect Liverpool to be top 4. Where do we think Chelsea are going to be next season?
I think they're going to have a worse season because I think they should have stuck with Poch anyway. I felt like he started to get them going, and yeah, they were a little bit unfortunate with in their cup runs and stuff, but I felt like they were finally starting to click under him. I think he should have got at least another season. So I thought it was
Poch left though.
No, he got removed, didn't he?
No, yeah, because remember they had a disagreement. It's kind of like basically they didn't want to do what he wanted to do, so.
Yeah. However they arrived at it, I just think it is a mistake. Yeah. So I'm not surprised that at this happening. Yeah. But I think if you're going to have a run of like poor results, pre-season's the time to have it. So I mean, that's his only saving grace. Hopefully he can, he's getting rid of his coppers now.
Yeah, it's not a good look though, man. Do we not say it's not a good look?
Manner, innit?
Yeah, with all the mess that Chelsea is at the minute, and you don't know whether you're coming or going. I think the one thing that they could have easily done is having a stable manager, and whether that manager was Poch until they figure themselves out, I think that might have been a little bit wiser than bringing in a new manager with a whole load of new ideas. He's obviously going to take as much. He might take as long or longer than Poch did to figure out his team. I don't know. It's a mess, bro. Chelsea probably have a very similar season to they had last season, because I still think, like, have they even, like, the main issue is probably their striker, right? And they haven't even got a striker yet, bro. They've got still relying on Cuckoo, bro. That
Did you
injured
see
every second.
What happened? So I think in the crew, was it Wrexham? Obviously, Colwell had a fight. Did he get sent off though?
No, I don't think he got sent off. No,
And,
but yeah,
and then did you see the goal they conceded where Sanchez was like screaming for Fana, and then they just crossed the ball into the bro? It was not.
I need to watch those highlights.
Yeah, watch the highlights where Sanchez is like screaming for Fana's name for like 20 minutes, bro, and he's just ignoring him. And then Celtic just whipped the ball, and there's a free man in the box, just taps it in, bro. It's insane, bro.
Like in terms of the dynamic, the dynamics, and how can I say it? And obviously, when they've got so many players, that whole like ethos of like
integration,
integration,
building,
teamwork, it's not there, bro. It's not going to be there. And like Marley just threw in like a crazy kind of
the teams
formation selection of like how many players they actually have in so many positions, and it's crazy.
Who they signed this season?
They've signed at least about maybe
players that count is different to players.
That's the thing. When they sign players, like, who counts? Like for a Chelsea fan, this is why Quace, bruv, Karma, bruv, he needs to get on the episode, bruv, so we can have it out, bruv. Like for a Chelsea fan, like, the Chelsea fans even know like what their strongest team is at the minute? They probably don't even know all their players, because I surely don't.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. It's a mess. If I was the manager, I'd just think it's a mess, bro. It's not even a challenge, bro. It's just a mess.
You're dropping that again, Sam.
Who, me?
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on today.
Yeah, no, it's just it's a bit crazy, bro, because, you know, as Strives was saying, like, when you sign a player like Calafiore, the likelihood is that it's going to galvanize everybody, make everyone get a bit more competitive, and everybody plays better. But Chelsea signing these players, the players are already there, have no idea what to think. Like, who's this guy? Is this guy coming to take my place? Is this guy coming to play football? What style does he play? And then the next thing you know, he's on loan to Strasbourg for 5 years.
Honestly,
bro. And then you just wasted your time getting angry and scared, bro. Like, it's nuts, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Most Chelsea fans are ones that I hear of anyway. They've
gone back under their rock, man.
Yeah, they're the ones that are vocal are spinning out at the minute, because they're what's happening to my club? Like, and it's understandable. Like, at the minute, the way Chelsea look, like, if 5 years down the line, like, someone hopped out a time machine and said, "Oh yeah, Chelsea got into liquidation," or something like that, they could end up like Leeds, bro. They're signing every Tom, Dick, and Harry. They just signed another.
They were like that back in the day, weren't they? Do you remember they got signed? They got bought for £1, bro. Do you remember?
Yeah, Ken the Thingy.
Yeah.
And what's his name?
Was it Ken Bates? I don't know. I can't
So he
remember.
passed away.
Yeah, speak now.
No, the mic.
Yeah, you can hear you, but it's like it's gone into your computer.
Computer.
Your computer.
Check the audio on the Zoom thing, Della.
But cool. We're almost at the end.
That's it. Yeah, we can hear you now.
I don't even know what happened. Yeah, so I think we're almost at the end of it now anyway. I was going to mention Man City, but there was nothing to talk about apart from the fact that they've played 2 preseason games and they've lost both. But this is City. I don't think anyone's going to be too concerned because, you know.
Does anyone know of anything about this Savinho guy they signed?
He was at Girona. So it was their previous player. I think he was on loan to Girona, had a good season, and then they signed him.
They've got a lot of players, like decent players in that City group. That even there was a guy that made his debut for, I think it might have been the United States at like 15 years old or something like that. And then you hear 14, and you hear, oh yeah, it's part of the City group, bro. They've got everyone, bro. Like like all these youths that are making appearances, bro. Like, you just see part of City group. I think
Liverpool, FSG are trying to start that stuff as well. That's why they've completely changed the whole structure of the club, man.
Oh, okay. But you haven't signed anyone yet. So what you mean? Like,
so they've
This brother, because you know, quick to try and call me out here.
Sorry. You didn't deserve that. You didn't deserve that, Joe.
Let me elaborate. Basically, they've set the structure up of the club with like Richard Hughes above, and Onslaught is the guy for Liverpool, and then now all they have to do is find a team to buy. Maybe Bordeaux. Maybe Bordeaux, bro. Rest in peace.
R.I.P. Bordeaux, but
because normally clubs go down to that. Let's say if you go from the Prem, you go down to the Championship, but they said no, they just can't do it. So they are becoming semi-professional.
Wow.
Or Bordeaux.
And they just cancelled everybody's contracts.
Anything cancelled, bro.
It's a shame.
Madness.
Big time.
That guy must have been angry, bro. I don't reckon he did that out of like, I want to keep the team going. I think he was angry, bro. Like somebody wronged him, man.
Ish.
Beef with the French league or whatever they're called, bro.
Highly possible as well.
So as usual, let's do our back pages. So who wants to go first? Dre went on mute, so I'm gonna let you. Dre, you go first.
Back pages. Boy, there wasn't really a lot, but I'm just gonna give it to. I'll give it to Mason Mount. He needs a bit of a shout out. Well, he had an all right game. Like his stats were decent as well, playing against Arsenal. Well, he gave a good run out. I'll give it to him, man. For our back pages for sure.
Yeah, Jerry.
In my back pages to the French people for burning down train tracks in protest for the Olympics. Olympic opening ceremony was a bit.
Bro, so washed.
So I say fire one.
Fire.
Fire for them. But yeah,
man, a mockery of Christianity, bro. It's not on, man.
Yeah, it's a very fire bun. But Babylon will get what it deserves, isn't it? Yeah.
Surprise.
Yeah, I know everyone's staying tight-lipped on that because they know what this Joey Nomadic guy's capable of.
I held myself, I restrained myself.
Last time, if it wasn't for my boy Marley Mal, I might not be on this podcast anymore, man. Last time Joey Nomadic drew me out. He had to do some serious editing. Yeah, but anyway, back pages. I'm gonna give it to Martinelli, man. I gave the guy a very tough time last season. And I know he was up against what's his name, Sconlon or whatever his name, the 17-year-old that plays for United. But he did everything that I'd expect him to do against someone like that. He just looked like he's got the chomping at the bits, got the bits in between his teeth, however the phrase goes. And yeah, he just looked ready, man, firing, good to go. And if that's indicative of what we've got to look forward to, I think we're going to get the 22-23 Martinelli's 22-23 season. Martinelli back still. So yeah, my back pages was going to him, man. Brilliant goal.
Cool. I'm just going to assume you're talking to me at that point, Della. I'm going to go. Yeah, you're cutting that again. I'm going to go for the Olympics as well. So I'm going to go for Simone Biles. I was watching the gymnast. She's
gymnastics. She's crazy.
She's cold. She's cold.
Absolutely. I was like watching her highlights for the first time properly yesterday, and bro, this woman's a ninja, bro. I'll be honest, bro. She's doing some crazy shit, bro. So yeah, respect to her. She's probably going to clean up with a few gold medals in this Olympics. So yeah, big up yourself.
Big you up still.
Okay, cool. My back pages will be Ethan Wanyeri. Obviously, last week we were talking about youngsters getting a chance, and sometimes you have to be of a certain standard. Not everyone gets given the opportunity. You know, United have gone through a list of some of their signings or some of their young Gs. It's probably unlikely that most of them will break through. There's probably just going to be one or none. So give it to Wanyeri.
Yeah, definitely.
On that note, guys, over and out. We'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, man. See you guys later, man. Pick up Arsenal.